Take your power back. And I know you've heard this before, and we've talked about it over the last couple of years. Take your power back. That means don't allow other people in your world, in your life, to have any control over what you are creating and who you are. It's actually neuroscience, and I love neuroscience because neuroscience explains how we build new pathways in our brains by what we're thinking and feeling. And another part of neuroscience is it shows us how when we connect our heart feelings, which our heart is the most powerful part of our body. Our heart power is more powerful than our brain. I know, go figure that one out. So I always thought the brain was the most powerful organ that the human body has. But when I learned after studying for so long that the heart power is actually more powerful than the brain, because your heart power holds all the emotions and the energy that we produce from our heart power to our brain. So when we get our brain power and our heart power together, we open up new doorways. We open up new paths. So I'm talking today about detaching from what others are expecting you to do. And I'm talking about this because we're coming across so many these days who are saying, well, I'm expected to, have this much done. I'm expected to make this much money. I'm expected to. Well, it's what other people are expecting of you. So when you take your power back, and regardless of what people are expecting of you, you could find your own way of dealing with that, of saying, I'm doing what I need to do for me, and this is going to benefit not just me, it's going to benefit the family. When I do this my way, it's going to benefit everyone. And when you do that, you take your power back. And what does that do? That also creates a new neural pathway in your brain. It does. And if you get hooked up to, if you have a way of doing this, maybe I don't know if you can go to a hospital, and I just know people that do this. So if you get hooked up to an EEG and an EKG, you'll see the heart rhythm and the brain rhythm, because you have all these different little wires coming off your brain. Well, as you're seeing that, and as they've studied it, is your brain will have all these different lines, well, your heart will have all these different lines. And when you introduce new feelings, new thoughts, then it creates a whole new pattern. And you can even see the brain creating these new pathways. And when you do this repeatedly, I mean over and over and over, it will create a permanent pathway. It won't just be a temporary bridge. It'll be a permanent pathway to what you are doing and what you are thinking and what you are feeling and what you're creating for yourself. So if this is just, it's who you're meant to be, and that's who you need to be. It's the essence of being, to you to create your own path. We were each born with a certain path that we came to earth with. We were each born with a certain path of what we needed to create. And we co-create with the creator, with source, with God, whoever you want to call it. Everyone calls him something else or her something else. But when you are embracing, trying to find the right word there, embracing the essence of you, the being you are, and you're creating your path, then everything else in your world will fall into place. And sometimes I find that you have to let go of what other people are thinking, of what other people are saying, or maybe what other people are doing around you. You have to be in that frame of mind to see, feel, to be, do, have. I know, a lot of little words there add up to a whole bunch. So, but your heart is the most powerful organ in the human body. And the heart will guide you on your path, on what your essence of who you are, who you came to this earth to be is. So to do this, detach from what other people want you to do and come to terms with that. Come to terms with you being in charge of you and not worrying about what everybody else is thinking. And don't worry about that. And one thing that is holding a lot of people back, and this may be or may not be in your ballpark, was I keep hearing people are saying, well, so-and-so owes me X amount of dollars. They need to pay me this, or they're supposed to give me this. I'm supposed to be getting a monthly payment from, from this or from that. Maybe you're selling a home, you're doing a rent to own or something like that. Well, that's a whole different ballpark, but you need to be in the mindset and the vibration of, I don't let these people get on my nerves. I don't let these people take control of who I am. I don't let these people dictate how much money I make or what I do. I don't let this happen, and I let it go. So when you let it go, you don't have to actually talk to the people to let it go. When you let it go in your own mindset, in your own mind, your brain and your heart power will create new neural pathways. And the more you let these people out of your life and out of your way, so they don't agree with what you're doing. So many people are expecting you to be a certain way, to do certain things, and to have a certain decorum. Maybe they're expecting you to act a certain way. You need to be who you are supposed to be. And a lot of times, and I learned this again from Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's one of my mentors, is when people are in the frame of mind or in the mindset of doing what other people expect them to do, they lose sight of who they are meant to be. And when you lose sight of who you're meant to be or who your essence says you are, then you will find you're having more problems acquiring the money you need or getting that job or making the list you have work or whatever it is. Everybody has a different scenario going on, so I'm not going to go through all the possibilities for that because there's so many. But when you take control of that, and you can do this in your mind, you don't have to start calling people up. This is not part of that mindset. This is part of your neuroscience. And this is why I'm talking about this today, is because I would like to help more people to be able to achieve their goals, be able to achieve who they're meant to be able to achieve what they set out to do. And it's hard work when you're changing your brain. But when you start to do it and you start with that feeling, when you have that feeling and it's inside and it is like, I am doing this and it's benefiting me. It's not only benefiting me, but it's going to help my family. Now, a lot of us, we're really close to the family. So for me, I connect with what I'm doing. First, I connect to myself because it's who I am. And it's the same for you. It's who you are. So when I connect my heart love, my heart power to my brain, and I always keep a journal, so I've always having these notes and stuff that I'm doing every day. And no, I'm not sidetracking. This is part of this, what I'm telling you. So when I do that, I write things down, and then as I go back, sometime later and I look, I can see from what I was writing, how I was feeling, and the progress I was making, I could see where my brain patterns started changing, where my brain started thinking what I wanted to do, what I envisioned doing, what I dreamed of doing was happening. And that was from changing my brain pattern, changing my neuroscience, changing my pathways. And when I see that happening, it makes it more realistic, and it made it more happy, I guess is the right word for me to say. Made it more happy for me to just blossom out and say, you know what? I don't need anyone to tell me what I need to do. I am my own boss. I am in control of my life, my way. I don't need anyone to give me any things that tell me I have to do it this way, or they expect me to do it that way, or they expect me to be this kind of a mom, or they expect me to do that, or they expect me to, float them alone, or whatever it is. When I got rid of all that garbage that was holding me back, the same can happen for you. It is that simple. And when you learn how simple it is, when someone's holding you back, you're letting them. And that's the hard truth. If someone's expecting you to have a certain job, they're expecting you to make X amount of dollars, they're expecting you to be the certain parent you're supposed to be, whatever your faith is strong, have faith in yourself that you are going the path you need to go, and you are doing what you need to do. And this will change your life. It won't just only change your business, it's going to change the income you attract to you. Excuse me. And when you change your pathways and you feel how it changes inside your heart, you feel this, and it just blossoms and grows, it changes your brain. When you have the brain and the heart working together, you are the powerhouse you're meant to be. You are being the essence of who you are. And that's who you should be. You should always be the person you're meant to be, not what somebody else wants you to do. And like I said, detach from those people. You don't have to talk to them. You can just, I do it in my brain. I do it in my mind. And one thing I did is someone owed me a lot of money. It was a recurring thing. It needed to happen. And I had to just say, you know what? I will not let your lack affect my prosperity. I will not let you not paying me what you owe me, or not taking care of your end of the situation, or whatever it was. I will not let that affect me anymore. And when I let that go, and the same will happen for you, when I truly, you can't just say it, you have to feel it. When I truly let it go, my life changed. My life changed for the better. So when you get clear on what you want, when you get clear on who you are, just remember, clarity comes from engagement, not thought. Be clear on what you want, be consistent on what you want, and just detach from others expecting you to do a certain thing a certain way. You have the ability to grow your own business your way. You have the ability to be successful. You have the ability to be an 8-figure earner. Why not? The rest of us are doing it. Why can't you? You can. So take these simple little steps here and use them. It's neuroscience. It's not something that's hoo-hoo or foo-foo or whatever you want to call it. It is science, and it works. It does. And anyone out there who's using it, or anyone out there who is studying this, I study it, and I study it more and more every day, because I want to know the ins and outs of, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a neuroscientist, I just love to know how things work and how my thinking affects my brain, and what I can do to make not just my life better, but hopefully other people's too. So use these steps. They're simple, and I'm not going to say they're going to be easy to change your brain, because for me it was hard to get started when I first started rebuilding pathways and making new things happen. So what I found out was, when I was loving what I was doing, and I had faith in myself, and I seen who I was meant to be, that's when it all changed. And it'll do the same for you. That's a guarantee. All you have to do is apply yourself and make it happen. Okay? I will chat with you guys later, and I wish you a very, very happy, blessed day. Okay? Talk to you later.